Welcome into Seeing Scarlet. We're so excited to have y'all here. It is your usual suspects. You got me, you got Sibby, you got Shelby, and y'all will see the third person on our screen, which we'll get into in just a moment. Fits perfectly into what's going on in the world, right, Shelby? Y'all might see this jersey that I'm repping today, World Cup. So, of course, in celebration of that, we're going to be talking to one of our own, Texas Tech soccer program. We're here with Kylie Bahr, and y'all, if you haven't already, please go back and listen to our episode when we covered Kylie and all that she's done so far with Texas Tech, and even before she even arrived into Lubbock. Big things coming from her. So Kylie, welcome to Seeing Scarlet. We are so excited to talk to you and learn more about your story today.
Thank y'all so much for having me. I just want to preface and say that, I'm recovering from my voice being completely gone. This is not normally what I sound like, so I'm a little raspy today.
An important disclaimer, we had to talk about that first.
Yeah. You got to let the people know why, because it's a good story.
True. It's a good story.
Yes, so we just wrapped up our 4-day elite ID camp. So I was coaching a bunch of kids, a bunch of recruits, commits, and everything. So the energy was really high. I have a loud voice. I like to use it. So 4 days of using my loudest voice possible. My voice is going to leave me. It's inevitable.
I feel like that's a good quality for a defender. You got to be yelling a lot in the game.
Absolutely.
So that tracks.
I love it. A good way to lose it too. So in addition to this elite camp that you've been helping lead, Kylie, tell us who you are. Who are you on the pitch, off the pitch? Tell us a little bit more about your story.
So I am going into my sophomore year, which is crazy. I feel like I was just here last year, oh my gosh, I'm just going to be a freshman.
Yes.
Anyways, so I'm going into my sophomore year. I'm an outside back defender, and I'm from Colorado, which actually it's kind of funny. There's a lot of people from Colorado on the Texas Tech soccer team, and two of my club teammates are actually, two of my best friends and club teammates are also on this team. So that was really fun coming into college, but yeah, I'm from Colorado. I went to Valor Christian High School. If anybody knows where that is or what school that is, we're big for football.
Cool.
Okay.
And yeah, I have two siblings, both older brother and older sister. And yeah, Colorado raised.
Love it.
I know the pipeline of Colorado soccer players to Texas Tech, it sounds, it's not a bad thing.
It
right?
feels like every time
Seems
we talk,
it's going good.
Every time we talk about a Texas Tech player, it's like, oh, they're from Colorado. I'm like, okay, all right, add another one.
Yeah, and so you briefly talked about your family. There's definitely some athletes and athleticism in your family. Has that been a huge part of your support of your soccer career up until this point? What does that look like for you?
Absolutely. What's really funny is neither one of my parents actually ever played soccer besides my dad when he was really young, but never competitively. They were both huge track athletes, which I did used to run track.
Me too.
But yeah.
Didn't you win state or something like that?
I did. So my junior year.
Casually.
Okay.
I was all right at it.
Okay.
So my junior year, I won state in the 300 hurdles, but my school won state as a team. It was their three-peat, which was crazy. I went to a really, really athletically talented school.
Yeah,
we
sounds like it.
That's awesome, dude.
Man, we always say that I guess 400-meter hurdles when you get to college is the hardest event, because when we're talking about it, and you did the hardest event, that or the 800 in high school, so. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And just swinging around to football, Joey McGuire, his whole program now is about recruiting track athletes, specifically hurdlers. So I'm sure that translates, because he talks so much about how if you can run and jump over things at the same time, you're an elite athlete and you can do anything. So this all makes sense to me, Kylie. It's coming together. What got you to Texas Tech? There's a lot of Colorado people here already, some teammates. I'm sure that played a part in it. But what were some other schools you were looking at, and then eventually you just said, no, Tom Stone, Texas Tech, this is where I want to be?
So the recruiting process for me was kind of weird. I was a part of the age group that had was stuck in the middle of the rule change. So before we were able to talk to colleges. Up until it was my freshman year, we could talk to colleges, and then there was the rule change to where it was basically like dead zone, couldn't talk to anybody for like about a year, and then June 15th, going into your junior year, you were allowed to talk to colleges again. So before the rule change, I talked to Tom, and he was just a coach that was really easy to talk to. Like, I just felt like I wasn't stressed at all when I was talking to him. It just came really easy. Very outgoing person, as we all know Tom Stone is.
Yeah.
So I talked to him before the rule change, and he was just kind of telling me about their program. I hadn't really known about Texas Tech or any school for that matter. I was just a little youngling, a little freshman in high school. So the rule change happened during that time, during the dead zone. I transferred to Valor, which is where Janine Becky went. Her mom was actually like my counselor. So that was really cool. I know. I know the connection.
Dude, your story right now is so good. Like, if we just stop here, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just cut the podcast off.
Right, we're done.
You just want to call Janine Becky up, and we can just duo this podcast. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, get her up here.
Anyways, so he told me about Janine, and another really funny connection. Janine works and trains with Kula, and that was my track coach.
Wow.
At Valor.
Meant to be.
And then he left Valor to pursue his own business, and he's like a second dad to me. I'm still in really close contact with him. Anyway, so I'd met Janine before. I had been in her presence. I'm like, you are so cool.
Wait, I told y'all I have to stand for this interview, but I'm gonna have to sit down now that you're talking about this.
Too much for Simi to handle.
Too much. Yeah, and like for those who don't know, Janine Becky, a Texas Tech great who has had such an amazing career with the Canada national team. Olympic medalist. She's a dog.
The one redeeming quality for the Canadian national team.
Hey. Oh, hey. Sinclair's great too.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
USA.
I have alliances with all of them, so it's all good. Wow. Okay, so what was it like meeting Janine? And so in this time frame, Tom, when did this happen before you talked to Tom? Was she the first that you knew about the Texas Tech program at all, or?
So this is crazy. I didn't even know about her until Tom talked to me about her, and I was like, wait. And then all of the stars were aligning. I transferred to the school that she went to. I was like close with her mom.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Rule change happened again, so we could talk to colleges again. And Tom was one of the first coaches that I talked to. And he was like, we'd love to have you come down to Lubbock. Like, you need to see it. Lubbock's not like the highest place on everybody's go-to.
Yeah.
But he was like, once you're here, you'll understand.
You'll get it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I visited during, I think it was like end of June, and it was just dead. Like, there was not a single person there. It looked like a ghost city. Like, nobody was on campus. But I got there, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this feels like a second home, which is crazy because the atmosphere was dead, and there was nobody there, but I still felt like it was a place that I needed to be. And so Tom and I had a really great experience there, and I went back home, and we had a call, and that's when he kind of offered me, and I told my mom after that call, I was like, I want to commit right now. Like, let me call him back and be like, Tom, I'm coming to Texas Tech.
Coming home.
And my mom was like, you need to just take it all in.
Don't make rash decisions.
We got it.
Yeah, really think about it. And I was telling her every single day for a week. Every single day, multiple times a day, I was like, Mom, like, I need to go to Texas Tech. It feels like the place. It feels like the place. Over and over again, I would tell her that. And so a week later, she was like, okay, like, you won't shut up about it.
It's like, enough.
So let me go ahead and buy my Red Raider gear. Let's get this over with.
Clearly, this is the place you need to be. Called Tom about a week later, and I was like, I'm going to be a Red Raider. And he was just like ecstatic.
Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes. Oh, wow. What a cool story.
Yeah, so then meeting Janine was like top 5 moments of my entire life, which I met her previously, very briefly. It was right after they won the Olympics, and she came to Kula's with her medal, and I was like...
Casual.
I was like,
Cool.
you are insane. Like, you are
Yeah.
so cool.
How did you get that through airport security? Would be my
Yeah.
first question.
How did you get that through airport
I would just
security?
walk through the airport with it around my
Hold
neck.
it up. Be like, do you know who I am?
Oh, I need
You
to take
know-
this. I need to take this off
Oh,
to
you
walk
need
through
to take this
security. This,
This
no
little
problem.
thing.
Oh,
That
you
is
mean
so funny.
this doesn't pass TSA rules?
Not a
Like,
problem. Can
weird.
you hold it for
Weird.
me? Oh,
So that
True,
was
true.
that was like the first time I had met her in person. And then this is like,
Oh my god, dude.
I will take this to my grave. This is one of the coolest times of my entire life. It was after my freshman year, after the great season that I had, and I saw her at Kula's. She gave me a hug and was like, I watched you this freshman year. You were absolutely insane. Like, I'm so excited for what's in store for you. And I was like,
What?
well, I don't. Like,
I was
what
like,
do you
I
even
could die
say
in
to
peace
that?
right now? I could die right now and be totally
I'm
content
okay.
with my life.
That's so cool.
What was your response? What do you say to Janine Becky when she
Thank
tells you something
you.
like that?
I was like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That is
Oh,
that's always
wow.
really cool to hear from all Texas Tech athletes, but especially the elite ones and all the different sports that have come from here. They all still watch Texas Tech, and it's weird to think about, like, okay, they're off winning World Cups or Super Bowls, but when they're at home, they're like, oh, the Texas Tech's playing. I got to pull up ESPN Plus or whatever and
Yeah.
watch the game. It's just
Yeah.
weird to think about that they're like, she's sitting there watching you play. I'm sure that's a surreal experience for
Yeah,
her to tell you
absolutely.
about it.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And you talked about it too, and we're definitely gonna get into this more that we talk. But your first freshman year season was amazing. A great way to start your collegiate career, and you're entering rising sophomore. What are you like really excited about, or what can you tell us about maybe some things that you're working on, or what you want to work on personally, and then we'll talk about like training camp and stuff like that too. But what are some things that you're really looking forward to in your sophomore season?
The competitiveness. I might be the most competitive person ever. I hate to
Love
lose
it.
it. Anything. Doesn't matter if it's a board game, but I'm
Heard
just so
that.
excited to like be with the team and like honor our seniors this year. We have so many seniors this year, which is so sad because I'm like so close. They're so near and dear to my heart. But yeah, I'm so excited to just play and with the new incoming freshmen and just like compete. Like I'm just so excited to play some games. Like get me on the field right now. Like
Yeah,
August
that's
cannot
cool.
come soon enough.
Truly, truly.
Yeah.
And we have a new schedule, right? In some degree, playing like BYU and UCF. Like, are there teams that you're excited to play that you have played in your first year that you're looking forward to like playing again? And then maybe like if some of these new teams that you're really excited to see what they're all about, like Houston, all that good stuff. Anybody sticking out to you?
I'm actually really excited to play BYU. One of my former one of my former teammates, like club teammates, goes
I
there.
was wondering, yeah.
And also they're just like such a good program. I mean, a couple years ago they were in the national championship, and so just them coming to the Big 12, that's a big step in like the competitiveness and just like the level of soccer. So I'm super excited to play them. And then of course the big schools like TCU, Texas, excited to play them as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always fun to play hard teams. Just, it's like the atmosphere when you play harder teams is just like amped up, and so I'm super excited for that too.
The intensity.
Cool.
The intensity is a little more there when you're playing the high stakes of it all. Is there any places that you got to visit this past year that you liked, but is there any that you're looking forward to, like as far as a visiting team going to their house this year that you didn't get to last year?
Florida for sure. UCF.
Oh, why? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. No,
I don't know.
I'm excited to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Florida's a beautiful place, so that will
Yeah.
be fun.
It's a nice
It's
reprieve.
UCF's in Orlando, right? Are they Orlando or
Yeah, I think so.
around
I don't think
that
their
area?
I don't think their campus is actually in Orlando, but
Oh, okay.
they say that they are. Yes, it's
Cool,
there.
cool.
I've been there. It's a pretty campus. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So tell us more about camp. Again, we talked about this in a previous episode. But tell us what it was like to be invited and what type of experience you had, and what can you tell us? Like, what does it mean that you checked this off of a resume list in some ways, and why that's important for you and for Texas Tech, and what's important for us to know about your experience?
It's like, first and foremost, it's such a huge honor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when Tom first told me, I thought he was joking with me.
No
I totally thought he
way.
was joking with me because it was right before spring break, and he was like, "You're staying here for spring break, right?" And I was like, I mean,
Do I have
I
to?
I
can.
wasn't planning
Like, I
on
can
it.
if you need me to.
You ever heard of this place called Florida? I'm trying to get out of here. Yeah.
And he was like, well, I mean, good, because like we need to train you next week because you're going to the U19 youth national team camp. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Me?
He's like, yeah, you're going. And I literally look at him. I was like,
No
you're
way.
kidding. Like, stop messing with me. And he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, you're going
Wow.
to camp. And I was just like, I almost had like happy tears because, I mean,
Oh.
growing up, it's obviously always something that like any soccer player is like, oh, I really want to play at that level, be invited to that. Like, it's a huge honor. I mean, there's only 40 girls out of the entire country who are invited.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like being a part of that, I'm so honored. It was
Yeah.
such a cool experience. It was in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a couple former teammates, like club teammates, who were also invited. And then also just like meeting and playing against all these insane studs who had as good or better freshman seasons as I did. And
I
like people from
know.
these huge schools like North Carolina, Duke, Florida State, all those schools. So it was just so cool. I mean, I would go back in a heartbeat. If I could relive that week, I would.
Yeah. Wow.
What do you-
So, like, did you have any idea that this was a possibility? Like, it sounds like it was all just Tom communicating with you that you're going. Did you have maybe a feeling that it was going to be your time, or was this all just a raw surprise?
It was all surprise. I
Wow.
honestly had no idea. I was, because it came late. It was like it was like a late, not a late invite, but it definitely
Yeah.
wasn't something that I was expecting because it was in the spring season.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like ready. I was expecting that like all of the accolades and kind of the craziness of my freshman season had kind of simmered down, and then I was told that news, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just such a big it's so rewarding. It's so
Truly.
rewarding with
Yeah.
all the work that you put in preseason and before you even come to college. And I mean, I'll toot my own horn. Like, I worked very hard my freshman season to kind of get where I was, and so it feels so rewarding that all of it really paid off.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
yeah.
it
Brag
takes
about
people that-
yourself. Don't
Yeah.
hold back.
And it takes people like noticing you, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't
Yeah.
apply, you know, it's not like you sent people clips and stuff like that. Like, you're being noticed on that level, and like you said, how many people are invited to that camp at all? It's to be invited is such a huge honor. So yeah, toot that horn, girl.
Yeah.
Like, toot.
Let them know. Let them know.
Let them know.
I saw a video. I don't know. It was back when you were getting ready to go, talking about some of the stuff you were working on in preparation for that. It was like your first touch and stuff. Like, what while you were there, was there anything you took away from that week besides it being amazing? Was there like, oh, this is something I can work on, or this is something I picked up while I was there that I'm going to bring with me back to Texas Tech?
I definitely think working on my attacking half of my game. And I've been working on that a lot in spring and preseason, and just like getting higher up the field, getting more opportunities to have assists and shots on goal and stuff like that. That was definitely something that I wanted to, or that I took away from camp, is like, you need to be more involved in the attack, and you need to produce more, basically.
That's cool. And do they give you feedback like that as well? I assume getting to work with those coaches and stuff. Do they like, give you feedback on like, okay, you were great. Maybe the next time because there's like a cut or whatever. And then maybe next time we can get you on the team if you work on that. And I'm assuming that's one of the things they're talking about.
Yes. So I had a call with Tracy, which is like the head coach.
Yeah.
And she was basically telling me like, I want to see you develop more in your offensive game and get more in the attack. And kind of what I just said is like crosses, shots, goals, like get in there, get those stats up, get those numbers up. And, you know, she just told me that she was excited to kind of see where my next season of college soccer goes.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Can't wait to see it. You're going to be out there dominating on both ends this year.
Okay. We're doing it now. Yeah.
Put it in.
We already know. So just let us know when you're ready for that too. So this year in particular being really exciting because of the World Cup, and you go into this camp too, and it just seems like anytime the World Cup is happening, the energy around soccer is obviously like at a new level. And there's so many things that have been happening for you. Do you feel like a shift when there is a World Cup going on, like with soccer, and does that impact you in any way while you're practicing and preparing for your season, and also knowing that like we have the World Cup going on? Like, I've always just been curious if those two things kind of correlate.
Yeah, it makes me super excited. Like,
Yeah.
it makes me so much more thankful that I am at the level that I'm at and I can play the game that I love. Like, watching these idols
Yeah.
play soccer, and just like, especially players like Sophie Smith, who came from my club in Colorado. Like,
Okay.
it's just crazy.
Casual.
Seeing her, she's absolutely dominating it on the
She
field.
is.
Like, it's just such a fun it's such a fun shift in energy. Like, everybody is so hype about soccer, and it's like, oh, everybody feels the way that I feel about soccer all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. They get this feeling every 2 to 4 years, but this is my life every day.
But this is me every day.
Yeah. Are there players that like you try to, like, I don't know, maybe mimic your game after? I mean, like you mentioned Sophia Smith, one of on the track to have an amazing World Cup. But are there players that you're like, oh, I really wish I could play like that? Or you try to train in some way, any inspiration from any of the current players from the national team or beyond?
I would say Crystal Dunn.
Yeah.
I think she is such a dynamic player, and she does not quit. Like, that girl has an engine. Like, her level of play is just so top tier, and she's always in the attack, and she's also one of the best defenders. Like, I really idolize her. She's so good.
Okay, well, I definitely referenced her in our video about you, so
Can confirm.
It's there. It's confirmed. Yeah,
Can
Crystal
confirm.
Dunn. Yeah, that's really cool. I love it. Do you think the U.S. has a shot at the 5th star? Like, who are you rooting for? Do you have like other teams that you care to watch?
Who are you rooting for? Gosh.
USA through and through. Like,
honestly, like
USA
we gotta
through and through.
Okay, USA through and through. I'm just saying, we got a Red Raider on the New Zealand team.
You can
that's
root for
doing
other.
really well.
You can root for other players by all means.
Oh, okay, that's where we draw the line. Is the team
USA?
Okay. Fair enough. I see. I hear it. Cool.
Yes, USA through and through. But obviously, with New Zealand, and that's super cool. Thomas talked about that at camp. Is just like the her first shutout, especially in a World Cup. It's like, wow, that's really crazy. Especially her being a former Red Raider.
Yeah, that was hype.
Yeah, I've done a lot of digging. We're gonna have a segment about her, so you're gonna have to listen in because her story is very inspirational.
Yeah,
it's really, really cool.
I might have to wake up at 2 a.m. to watch their next game live.
That's right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so we're gearing up for the start of the season, which is literally like tomorrow, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. So how have practices been going? What do practices look like when y'all are preparing for this next season? And could you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so the month of July is all captain-led practices.
Okay.
Coaches are not allowed to coach us until August. And so July is really where we focus on our fitness and focus on just like kind of getting back into soccer and playing as a team, and just forming those connections again. So all of this month, we've been really focusing on our fitness, and we have amazing strength and conditioning coaches. Katie Munninger and DJ Clark are so godsend. They're honestly the best. And so we've been focusing on that a lot. And then when August comes, we start 2-a-days. So we'll have a technical practice in the morning, or like a kind of idea of what we want to do, and it will be a little more structured. And then at night, we'll just play. So 2-a-days are a lot, but they're so beneficial. And honestly, it's like for 2 weeks before we go to Denver to play our exhibition game.
Yeah.
So that's the time to really, I mean, as soon as we get here, it's like, okay, it's time to lock in. But I mean, you go a whole month without being able to be coached by our coaches, and it's like you take it for granted. You miss being
You're
able
like,
to have
please,
their
Yeah.
yeah, you
somebody tell
miss
me what
being
to
able to
do.
have them coach
Their
you.
expertise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
think
talked about. Yeah, go ahead, Shelby.
as I think something that is very I guess you don't get as much credit for as soccer players as you should is y'all's level of fitness and all the things that you have to be prepared for as a soccer player because one you have to be very physically fit because you run all the time. The amount of miles that y'all run in a game is just insane. But it's also a lot more physical of a game than people like may think it is. Like there's some
Yeah.
high contact moments in this sport. So what type of stuff do you do on a day-to-day basis as well as your strength and conditioning coaches, your athletic trainers to prepare your body to do that every week, multiple times?
Oh yeah. So we do a lot of like speed conditioning. So we have this run called Dirty 30s, which is like
No.
Oh
yeah.
god.
I mean the name
anytime,
is
anytime an exercise has like a name, you know it's gonna be bad.
oh
Like,
yeah. I mean the name is fitting. The name is
yeah.
fitting.
Yeah.
All right, tell us about it.
So it's basically like it's kind of like suicides a little bit.
Yeah.
But you basically sprint. It's a sprint for 30 seconds, and then you have 30 seconds off, and
Oh.
we'll do our goal is like 4 sets of 5.
Okay.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
but it really helps with our like cutting, and obviously in the run of play in games, you have a lot of sprints, so and you're running all the time, so it really helps with just keeping us in shape and getting us into shape and it's very mentally challenging too, which obviously as a soccer player you play 90 plus minutes every game, like you
It's
gotta
wild.
you gotta mentally you gotta have a lot of mental toughness.
Yep.
1000%.
We've talked about like the mental game of sports. Like that's where Shelby studied a lot. So it's been really interesting to me to like hear the player's perspective and in a game where like scoring isn't happening all the time, right? Like I'm sure the mental game of soccer of getting scored on. Maybe you're going to the second half 2-0. What type of mental game you have to continue to fight through that? Are there things that you practice or like what does your mental game look like? Maybe if you are down or like how do you stay in it?
So our team has had this kind of motto, and it's DHT. This was it for last year. It was do
Okay.
hard things. So like
Cool.
do the extra run, do like tell one of my favorite things that our strength coach tells us, what Katie tells us, is tell your legs to shut up. It's like I love it.
that.
It's
Shut up down there.
tell your legs to shut up.
Stop
And
it.
it's like you'd rather hurt now than hurt in the game.
True.
It's kind of just like you just got to tell yourself that it's gonna hurt, and you kind of just you got to deal with it. Like
Yeah.
oh well, it's gonna
Yeah.
hurt for everybody else too. So just deal with it. You got to push through. Have that mental toughness to tell your legs to shut up and tell your mind to keep pushing. And honestly, like for me in those 90-minute games, it's like do it for the team. Do it for the team. We're all in it together. Like, for some people it's their last season in college soccer. Like do it for them. Do it for
Yeah.
something bigger than yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Have you talked about this month being kind of like senior-led practices and stuff? But I assume it's been a chance to get to know the new freshmen, and then y'all have had transfers come in and all that. Have you had a
Yeah.
chance to get to know the new people at all? Anything that Texas Tech fans should know about the incoming players from your perspective?
Yes. So we actually had 5 girls come early.
Cool.
So they graduated last semester and they spent the spring season with us, which
That's
I was
awesome.
going to do that. I didn't. I don't necessarily regret it, but you know. So we had 5 girls
It
come
worked
in.
out okay.
Yeah. It did work out. It worked out
I
just
guess.
fine. So we had those 5 girls come in and they just trained with us and played with us all spring, which was just so beneficial for them. And then we had the rest of the freshman class come in, and honestly, it was kind of like when they came in, they'd just been here with us the whole time. Like our team, this is how I felt last summer too, is that our team is so good at like welcoming our players and making them feel at home and making them feel welcomed and like they're a part of the team. And that's like it's a scary thing to come into as a freshman, just coming in and all these girls who have played with each other for so long. And So yeah, I hope they felt the same way that I did, and I'm pretty sure they did. But yeah, I just want to like let the fans know that we got a great class, we got a great team. Like it's gonna be we're gonna be so good this year, and I mean everybody better be coming to some Red Raider games.
Yeah.
If you thought we ain't gonna spend the last like 10 minutes of this episode talking about that, like, yeah, I mean, and y'all showcased it in the spring match that y'all had. I think it was against New Mexico. I don't know. Y'all seem to play them a lot, but yeah, like
They're close.
seeing how much talent there is already, and to know that y'all are just beginning what this new year looks like. It is so exciting, and that's why like kind of the question of the World Cup prompted was, can we continue this energy into tech soccer? And y'all, it's off the hook already from what I can see, and it also will be a cool thing to see that y'all are playing on grass now.
Yes.
So a huge upgrade for the field. And what does that mean to you, like when y'all found out this news, and like how important is it on what you're playing on as a soccer player? Like what difference does this make for you as a player, and what do you think it's doing for the program?
Obviously, having grass is such a blessing. Like,
Okay.
I had amazing grass and turf at my club, and the like level of soccer when you play on grass is just elevated.
Cool.
And I mean, obviously, like with tackles and slide tackling, you don't get as many turf burns.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of the times the surface that you play on can dictate the game. Like if you're on thick grass, you better move that ball fast. Like you got to put a little more weight in your passes and whatnot. But yeah, just having grass is such a huge improvement for tech soccer, and I know our whole team is so thankful. And it's been in the works for a little bit, and so finally seeing the grass go down, we're like, oh, this is real. Like this season is about to be one for the books.
Yeah, I saw them putting it in. I think they posted a couple days ago that they got the sod down, so it should be. I'm sure there'll be some things to work out that first week of practice in August, but it'll be good for y'all to get some run on it, because I remember I'm old, Kylie, but back when I was in college, I worked with the team as an athletic training student for a year, and I think it was the first year that the Walker Complex was open, and I remember one of the biggest challenges the team had was like, yeah, it's great when we're playing on turf at home to the extent of we play really fast, we can use our speed to our advantage, but it was every time we went on the road, like the team had to adjust because like most places were on grass, and it was like this big adjustment thing that they all shouldn't have this year. So I feel like that is what I'm looking forward to the most as a fan, is like the playing field is equal in that sense. Like y'all don't have to adjust mentally and everything you just talked about with the speed of your passes and stuff when you go in the postseason and so on and so forth. So I'm excited for y'all.
And I'm pretty sure that we were one of the only Power 5 schools who still had turf.
Oh my goodness.
And so kind of just every single time you go and play at a different school, you're on grass. And so obviously you get used to it because we travel a lot when we play, but it's just, it's so cool to like have our own grass field, and our grass field is going to be amazing. Like this entire month and up until our first game, they're just tending to it, watering it, cutting it, flattening it, all the good things. So
yeah, it's definitely
I'm excited for Texas Tech Soccer to be the program on campus to get it first, so then maybe they can be like all these people that like say about football and stuff, they could never take care of the turf. I'm like, well, watch soccer, who runs on it for 90 minutes, take care of it, and tell me that y'all that take breaks after each play can't handle taking care of it.
Let them know.
At any rate.
Yeah, and I think about it too, like in what we've seen, and like kind of talking about Janine, is the injury component. Like I saw a lot of people talking about it, and I'm sure we'll dive into it later. But the injuries that are on turf compared to grass is like wickedly different for women in particular. And I think with this World Cup, we've seen a lot of really good players plagued with injuries from whatever it could be, but the playing surfaces being another huge component of that. In my mind, it's like, oh, cool, they're going to be safer on grass. Yeah. Like, that's my priority. I hope you'll have fun and do all the things. But yeah, I think that's another thing. And to hear about how we were kind of one of the last ones to get up to that point, I'm glad we made it. And and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
And
Yeah. Turf is definitely harder on your body.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. It's harder. It's a harder surface as it is. So just running on that, running 8 miles, 9 miles a game on that, it's definitely
ridiculous.
It's definitely hard, but yeah, and injuries, I've seen that too. Like injuries on turf compared to grass is crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That research
I'm so excited.
Keeps coming out and keeps coming out because
yeah.
And not because y'all weren't just having to play on it once or twice a week. You were having to practice on it for months every day. Like every day you're on it. So it has its benefits. I get it. Turf came in for a reason, and I don't want to like throw shade at the admin for not doing it before now. They thought they had the right thing, but clearly for many years now that has been proven wrong. So I'm glad that they stepped up and did the right thing by you guys. So.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's awesome. So as we kind of get to the point of like wrapping up our time with you, and we've briefly talked about it with coming to watch y'all play, and that's a huge point of movement with our work with Seeing Scarlet is how we get more people to games, and especially like our women's games. What would you share with like maybe people who don't know the game of soccer, who don't know that we have a soccer program, or who are interested in learning more, coming to games? Like, what is something that you would say to Texas Tech fans about like the Texas Tech soccer program, or coming to watch?
I think the main thing I would say is like the atmosphere on game day is electric.
Yeah.
Like everybody is so hype. You have tailgates, you have fans with signs and scarves, like Texas Tech scarves. Like sometimes we have like the fraternities, and they'll come and support us. Like game day as a Red Raider is so fun, and you really have to be there to experience it and be there to understand kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I would also say that know the game of soccer or not, it's still fun to watch, and come for the girls. Like our team, not only are we amazing soccer players, but we're also just such great people. And so kind of just like following us in our journey with college athletics, I think it's super important. And I mean, following us and watching our games and whatnot, it's really nice to have like that fan base and that support behind us. It kind of just keeps us pushing forward through the season, knowing that there's people who enjoy watching us and supporting us and whatnot.
Yeah, we say that all the time here. That's why we do these interviews like we're doing right now, is because once people get to know the athletes and the stories behind it, whether you thought you enjoyed that sport or you didn't, you'll get to the game and then you'll fall in love with the game after that. But hearing the stories will get them there. And I'm hopeful that I'm sure you've seen, or maybe you've even been to some of the games, the whole movement with the Matador team. It seems like Lubbock's become a soccer town this summer. I don't know what happened here, but I'm hoping that translates. You already have good home atmospheres, as you talked about, but let's bring their lawn chairs and fill up the other side where the stands are. Like let's do some stuff this season.
Yeah, I think a lot of the parents on the our team too are so good about being at away games.
Cool.
Like even my parents love them so much. They came to every single game. Like I think my dad came to every single game, and I think my mom only missed one or two.
The bars.
How
they
far
show
is that?
The bars. The bars don't play around. The bars do not play around.
How far is that drive, or do they fly?
Yeah.
Colorado.
So they fly.
Okay, that's fair.
Good.
Yeah, which it's just so cool. I mean, you feel so supported and so loved when you just like look into the stands, and I'm like, oh, there's my parents. And every single game, I would always look up and be like,
like where are they at? Where are they at? They just sit in the same spot.
Yeah, it's like, I want you to know that like I appreciate you being here. Like I'm gonna say my hellos. So
yeah, it's so much about showing up, and like Shelby and I talk about this constantly on here. But I think you're right of just showing up and being able to feel that. And like I remember when I first started watching soccer, I was like, why are they wearing scarves? But it's now just like it's something that you just got to go there and just understand it and get that feeling. And then even more so of like what you were talking about with being able to look up and see your your family. I think this is always a really cool thing too, because now people who watch this get to look down and they're like, I know Kylie's story. Like, I know that she has a connection to Janine Becky. This is awesome. So to echo what Shelby said, yeah, like once you like listen and watch and learn more about the players, it adds a whole other level of like really cool experience to whatever sport it is that you're watching. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm totally with you on that. That's cool.
You mentioned your family driving down for games, but one of the cool things on the schedule this year, with yourself being from Colorado and so many other players, is there's a preseason exhibition that's been scheduled now for, is it Denver University or something like that? How much fun is that going to be for yourself and your teammates that are also from Colorado?
So last year we play DU every single year. It's like, because we have so many Colorado players on our team.
It's also good for recruiting to go up there.
It seems like it's
it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
So last year it was so surreal for me. I was like, I'm somebody who really doesn't get stressed out about soccer, but it was like my first game that it was like the first real game, and I was starting. I was just like, oh my gosh, like all my friends and family are here. So yeah, I mean, it's really cool. And with that game too, last year was super fun because so many of my high school friends were there because a lot of them hadn't gone to college yet.
Yeah.
And so just having like friends and family and so many people who support you there, it's like, I'm pretty sure Texas Tech always has more fans than DU at that game.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wait, so that was your first game ever and you started?
So we played like Lubbock Christian and
Okay,
Abilene
you had a
Christian.
couple more, but still, yeah, like.
But those were kind of just like, I want to say it was more of like a scrimmage. There wasn't as much pressure, but then we came to Denver and it was like okay, this is real.
Yeah.
Like this is real.
This counts in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was
That's
our first
so cool.
game. It was crazy. It's like, oh, okay, I'm a college soccer player now. Like,
I was about to say, yeah, there's so many layers to it, right? Like you being at home, but you're, wearing some scarlet and black and you're playing soccer. Like,
yeah,
just another chapter to your journey.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That is a good point. Everyone has that moment as a college athlete in any sport. It's like, oh, I am a Division I soccer player.
Yeah.
This is real. This is not a dream anymore. It's happening to me right now.
Even like putting on the uniform and you just have Texas Tech across and I step on the field, I'm like, let's go. I'm like, I'm representing something bigger than myself now. Let me play for Texas Tech.
Scarlet and black. Let's go. Man, Texas Tech fans.
Like, I'm a Red Raider now.
Let's go.
Man, Texas Tech fans, how can you hear that and not want to show up? I think y'all's first game is August 20th, right, against New Mexico.
Yeah.
How can you hear her say
game.
that and not want to show up for the whole team, but at least for Kylie? Look how much she loves you guys. Get out there and just scream for these girls.
One of my absolute favorite parts about college soccer at Texas Tech is at the very end of the games, the Raider Power chant.
Yes.
That is unlike anything I've ever experienced. Like, whether you're a big fan or you just got into being a Texas Tech fan, you know the Raider Power chant.
Yeah.
Like, it is a nationwide
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet that gets you fired up. Like, it's one thing at the end of the game, but like during the game in big moments when y'all need that extra push is to hear that Raider Power. That has to be a surreal moment to be like,
absolutely,
oh my gosh.
absolutely.
That's awesome. In addition to that, do you have like a favorite Texas Tech tradition yet? Like, I'm sure there's some that you still need to experience as you continue your collegiate career, but is there any that stick out to you that you really love? I know, it's like so many.
I don't know.
I mean, she just gave us her favorite. I think
that might be it. Yeah,
the Raider
Power. It might be.
Raider Power is fun, especially like football games. That's fun.
Oh my
like
gosh.
Shakes the stadium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like echoing around. Like you can hear it from your dorm on game days at football.
And what I appreciate about it is like you know what they're saying. Like there's some stat or chance that you're like, I don't even know what are they saying.
Yeah.
But Raider Power, you're like, that is crystal clear.
We know what's happening.
And it's like you'll hear one side of the stadium say Raider, the other side say Power, and you just go back and forth, and you're like, this is crazy.
Fight it
I
out
love
to
that.
the end. Yeah.
That is so
I love
good.
that's something cool because I actually live in North Carolina now, but you'll run into Texas Tech fans every once in a while, and sometimes they'll literally be like across the parking lot and they'll yell Raider at you if they see you wearing like Texas Tech gear,
Yeah.
and like I don't even know this person, and they're just like Raider, and I'm like, screw it, power, like to just some
No,
random
what-
person in a parking lot in North Carolina.
What's absolutely crazy is I swear everywhere I go, I find a Texas Tech fan.
They're-
Does not
we're
matter where
everywhere.
I am. Like, I was in the Bahamas a couple weeks ago for family vacation. Found somebody who's a Texas Tech fan. Like, I
Oh
brought my hat.
gosh.
Found somebody who's a Texas Tech fan. I'm like, we're in a different country.
Like this
know.
makes no sense. That's
It's
so
just
It
true.
makes no sense, but it's amazing. It's like there's always some connection to Texas Tech, and it's just wow. Like, it's crazy.
I think what it is Texas Tech fans are so proud to be from Texas Tech that
Absolutely.
when we travel, we wear Texas Tech gear. Like
Yes.
if you're on the plane, like I'm gonna wear a Texas Tech t-shirt. And
Yeah.
other schools
Yeah.
don't necessarily do that, so they might
Yeah.
be there too, but you have no way of knowing it. Like Texas
Yeah.
Tech
Yeah.
fans wear the red and black around everywhere we go. 'Cause
Oh yeah, and
I see them.
that was one thing that I loved when I came to visit was there's nothing open but like Walmart. We go into Walmart to maybe find a T-shirt or something for me.
You got it.
Every single person is wearing Texas Tech gear.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, we're in the dead of COVID, and I'm at Walmart right now at like noon, and everybody's wearing Texas
like
Tech gear.
even the masks during COVID. Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's all
Right.
The
yeah.
masks are red and black.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, you're not going to run into any, if any, at all, fans for other schools in Lubbock. That's a pitching point to recruits and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can go to some other school, cool, but whatever town you're in, you're likely going to have to fight off other fans. Like, you're anywhere you
Yeah,
step
like-
in Lubbock's going to be like, oh, that's Kylie Bahr from soccer, Texas Tech, let's go. Like, they're going to
Yeah.
know you
Lubbock-
because they love
Lubbock
Texas
is-
Tech.
Lubbock is Texas Tech through and through. Like, they eat, sleep, breathe, and bleed Texas Tech.
This is true. Sometimes to a point of no return, like reel it back in. But good problems to have, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It just hits different, like seeing the University of Texas, it's almost like too big of a brand to really like have close connection with. But like what you're talking about going to the Bahamas and wearing Texas Tech gear on an airplane, I do that because I know somebody's going to be like, I graduated in this year, or like I was at this game, and it's like there's such a different connection, I think, that is unique to Texas Tech than it is from University of Texas, Texas A&M, yada yada yada.
Yeah. We're obviously biased, but that just happened to me like last week. I was in a post office with a Texas Tech shirt on. They like just yelled their class year at me, and I'm like, oh my god, hi. We're not
How
alone.
much do I
way from
I
North
owe
Carolina.
that much? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of us around here. I don't know what happened, but
I owe $2,014. What are you yelling at?
everybody
me?
else is like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool.
That is
Speaking
cool.
of fans, though, we did put out a little thing this morning. We did get a listener question. Then we'll throw out some just rapid fire, we call them that, but just some random questions to get to know you and your teammates a little bit better before we close this thing out. As much as we'd love to talk to you forever, I'm sure you got practice and things to do. So really wants to know what your favorite bagel combination is. So I don't know if you're a bagel eater or not. But actually, I've seen that video. You love bagels. That's probably where that came from. Now, this makes more sense now. I was like, why is she asking about bagels?
That's actually hilarious that's the question that came to her mind, because in that day in the life, like, my athletic trainer and I, Matt and I were talking about it, and I was like, I need a whole section just about bagels.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a weird thing, but
All right.
no, favorite bagel combination, it depends where I go, okay?
Yes.
Let
This is
us know.
good. Yes.
At Walker,
Okay.
at our soccer complex, it's very toasty plain bagel with the little cups of cream cheese, one per side, okay?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Like,
that is smart. Yes.
thick smear of cream cheese.
For sure.
Yes.
However, if I go to Einstein's, I'm going to get a 6-cheese bagel, because six cheese bagel, they don't, like, nobody else does it, like,
It's
in
like,
Einstein's
it's like a
6-cheese
grilled
bagel.
cheese on a bagel.
Basically, I
That's
mean,
amazing.
what can you not love about it?
That's true.
That's great. Did the Texas Tech program know that about you before you got here? Or did they be like, this girl loves bagels, we got to stock up the bagel room more? like
I mean,
Load it up.
our team, it's like one of our favorite kind of like morning pre-practice meals,
Okay.
snacks, whatever you want to call it. So,
I love it.
I mean, I've always I think it's hilarious that we're having a long conversation about this, but I mean, I've like always kind of liked
The
bagels.
people gotta know. Yeah.
The people gotta know.
Oh, that's so
Apparently,
good.
the people apparently already know. They knew what to ask you. So
That's
your
true.
your reputation precedes you, Kylie.
That is
You
very
are.
true.
We gotta get you an NIL deal with Einstein's or something. What are we talking about here?
I'm saying there's still time.
We're gonna
There's
clip
still
Einstein,
time.
this.
please.
Yeah.
Einstein,
Yes.
please.
We're gonna clip
Einstein.
this and tag them all over social media. Like, what are they? They're who talks about bagels more than Kylie? And a flattering lie. Like, who's gonna get you more? People are gonna go to Einstein's and buy that 6-cheese bagel just because of that. So, pay the
Don't
girl.
know. Don't know. I have your next question.
Okay.
We see it around the world when somebody scores. There's a celebration, and I know we've talked about like that's going to be something that you're working on in the future. Do you have like an in-game celebration or anything that we're always going to catch you doing if something goes really, really right for Texas Tech soccer? Do you have one, or is it in the works?
Yes.
Are you hitting the gritty? I don't know.
We're gonna get her that Einstein's NIL deal, and she's gonna like spread it on the bagel. That's gonna be her
She
thing.
grabs the bagel.
It's gonna be a part of the deal.
I have a bagel in my back pocket and pull it out.
Yes. We'll check with the uniform rule, but I think we can make it work. It's on your shin guards. I don't know.
So I mean,
yeah.
obviously, since my voice is gone, I have
Okay.
I have a very, very loud voice,
Yes.
and I like after my team scores, you will always catch me being like, "Let's go!" Like so loud,
Cool.
so loud.
Yes.
I mean, just hyping up
It's a
your
classic.
teammates after, like, hyping up your teammates for their success, it gets the team going. So,
Mhm.
I mean, who knows? Who knows if I have a personal celebration? I guess we'll have to see with this upcoming season. But
As you
Can't
start-
wait.
As you start scoring more, we'll figure that out as we go. Now that that's gonna be added to your game, but
Yeah.
if it's not gonna be you, who on the team is actually most likely to go viral for a clip of them celebrating, like doing something insane?
I love this.
Ashley Williams, 100%.
And she scores a
Absolutely.
lot, so
That tracks.
Her goal celebration, oh my gosh. She's
It's so
just like, oh, like, I just did that. And I'm like,
Yes,
yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
I was like, yes, you did. You just did that.
I'm so
Oh
proud
my
of
gosh.
you. Do it again.
Her goal celebration, if I was a defender against her, I'd be like, no, I'm just going to give you, I'm not defending you anymore. Give you a free pass. Score another goal.
That's how
Please.
you feel in practice, and
Like,
oh,
you're
yeah.
intimidating. You're intimidating in the best way possible.
Yes, I'm glad you're on my team. Intimidating.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad you're on my team, Ashley.
I bet that is like something. By the time y'all get finished with those 2 weeks of scrimmaging in August, you're like, I'm sick of having to
Release.
guard you, and
Release
I
her.
cannot wait to guard somebody else. Leave me alone.
I cannot wait for you to score goals instead of going against me.
Yes, yes.
I'm
The
sure they
problems to
feel
have.
that way about you too, Kylie. Like,
Oh my God.
this
Yeah.
girl.
So annoying. Yeah.
It's still on the ball for me all the time.
Yeah. Do you have any superstitions or like things that you do before a game? Yeah, like wear your hair a certain way. Like, are there any superstitions that you have?
So my hair used to be a superstition, but it kind of changed throughout the season.
Fair.
Personally, I can't braid my own hair. It's
Okay.
not it's not a talent I possess.
Okay.
So, I would kind of change my hair throughout the season, but I always put on my left side before my right,
Okay.
Mhm.
which
All
a
the
lot of people
way?
are. Yes, like, well, no. So I'll do like left sock, left
Okay.
shin guard, right shin guard, left shoe, right shoe.
Okay.
Which for a lot of people, it's actually opposite, which is kind of weird, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I'm thinking about that. Mhm.
One thing about my hair though is that I put for games I cannot have any movement in my hair, so it has to be super slicked back. I will have gel hairspray, that like wax stick that keeps it down. Like
Dang.
my head will be crunchy. Like have you
Okay.
seen that? Have you seen that ballroom hair where it, like
Yes,
it's like
she, like, taps
ASMR,
on it?
They like tap it.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what my hair is like.
You have to
Oh,
spend like
okay.
an hour after the game just like soaking
Oh.
your hair to
Oh, I
get it
bet.
out.
No, I'll take it out after the game. If I had like a high ponytail, I'll take it out and you still see it.
We
It
need
just,
pics.
it just stays in
We
form.
need pics.
Yes, it stays. It will not move.
I gotta see photos of this next time, so
Yeah.
just think
Get her-
about that.
Get her a
and send it to-
hairspray. Get her a hairspray NIL deal. We're gonna get you
We're
fixed
gonna
up,
get you-
Kylie.
We'll get you set up. Yeah, I feel that. I used to play rugby, and so like my hair, I used to have really long hair, and it was such a pain to like keep
Oh,
it
God.
together because I'm the same way as
bet.
you. If there was anything in my face, I was like, I'm focused on this one hair that's bothering me, not the game.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes.
So yeah, I hear you. That's cool.
Love that. It's kind of along the same lines as that. You can say yourself if you want to on this question, but who has the best fit on the team? Who's going all out on game day?
Yeah, pregame fits.
So we all kind of, I don't think we even do pregame fits.
Oh, well,
Okay, well, outside of the game, then.
outside of the game.
Just chilling around campus or going out or whatever. Who has the best style?
I would say a top 3 would probably be
Fair.
Yes.
I can't say like in order because I'm
Sure.
not quite sure, but
Fair.
Sure.
I would say Macy Blackburn,
Okay.
Yes.
Giselle Kazarski.
Okay.
I would put myself up there. I would put myself up there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm with that.
We are so proud of
With that.
you. Yes.
We love someone that's confident enough to be like, you know what? I'm really good at what I do, and I can dress well as well.
That's true. I love it. That's awesome. What are you listening to before a game?
Ooh.
Do you have a playlist? Are there specific artists? Are you listening to nothing like some people?
So
Motivational
yeah, we
speeches.
have so I'm now on music duty
Wow.
for the pregame. So
Trustworthy for a
Yeah,
sophomore.
that's huge.
in the locker room we have a playlist and it's our locker room songs, and a lot of it is like hype rap. And
Yeah.
there's one song, this might be one of my favorite parts of our pregame. It's Throw It Up. That song.
Throw it up.
Throw It Up.
Yeah, drop us what does it sound like, Kylie?
Drop us some bars.
Drop us some bars, Kylie.
Man, I'm just coming out with NIL deals left and right. We're gonna use this stuff.
So
Oh, is
so
this
we
Little John and the
actually-
East Side Boys?
Bars from bars.
Yes. So
Okay.
there's the very beginning, it's like they list a bunch
Uh-huh.
of cities.
Yes.
I scream the cities, and the rest of our teams are like, the city will be like,
I know.
It'll
I'm
be like-
listening to it right now when you're talking, and I'm waiting for you to hit the because I know you can do this.
like one of the cities will be like Dallas, Texas, and then our team will scream, "Throw it up!" Like, that's
Oh,
one of
let's
the best parts.
go!
It's so like you can
Oh.
you can hear us from probably outside.
I was about to say, is that in the locker room or is that on the field?
That's in the locker
Oh,
room.
we gotta
That's
get this
an
happening
exclusive.
during the warm-up.
Yeah.
The fans could get into it. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Or
Very
one
cool.
of the best. Or one of the best songs is like when we're in the hallway right before we're about to run out of our like facility onto the field. We play Purge Siren Dubstep.
Oh.
Purge,
Purge
siren.
Siren Dubstep.
I'm intimidated.
Oh my god!
The other
Oh,
team's
no.
like quaking over there on the bench. Are they really?
Gives you like the chills, and you're just like,
Yo.
oh.
Again, I'm listening to this as y'all are talking, and I'm ready to run through a brick wall. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Mission accomplished. This is great.
Oh, I cannot.
Amazing.
I can't wait.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
You might have you might have answered this one a little bit during the interview, but maybe there's some others you can throw in there. But if you could sit down or practice even with any pro athlete, soccer or any sport, if you have another one, who would it be?
Ooh,
That's a good one.
that's a really good one.
Uh-huh.
I have one for like female and male.
Go
like
for it.
male, 100% Messi.
Dude, did you see him score
Who does
at
that
Miami?
in his
Yes.
debut? Just gonna
That was
Yes.
absurd.
show off.
Who else? Who
But
else
also,
scored that?
it makes sense. Anyway,
Yeah.
Who
Messi
else?
for sure. Yes, with you.
Absolutely Messi. And then female, I don't know. I don't think I think I would do
Crystal Dunn?
multiple.
You're
Crystal Dunn, Julie Ertz,
Mm-hmm.
any of them.
Mallory Pugh Swanson,
Yes.
Sophie Smith,
Of
Rose
course.
Lavelle. Rose
Yes.
Lavelle actually seems like the funniest person ever. Or Emily Sonnet.
That's the
One of
jersey you
them.
have on. That's the
It's,
jersey.
I'm wearing Lavelle jersey right now. I got you. Rose
Like-
does. She seems like she's so funny, and she's
Hilarious.
also brilliant. Like
Yes.
it's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Well, in a few
Lavelle-
years when you're on the team with them, you'll get.
Oh
to
yeah.
practice with them all
Just
the time,
ask her
so.
to hang out. Yeah.
Hey, want to hang out?
Hey, can I laugh with you? Thanks.
Hey, can you like give me some of your humor, please?
Nah, you're doing just fine. You're doing just fine. That's awesome. Yeah, and then I think I might have the last question for you.
Go for it.
And it's probably easy or hard, whatever it means to you. But what is maybe like the last thing that you want to say with the time that we have each other here with Seeing Scarlet? Yeah, what would be like the last thing that you would hope our audience would know, or something that you want to make sure that is heard?
Yeah, I would probably say just like everything that has happened in my life, like every single blessing I have has honestly been from God. And being on a team that has such a strong foundation in their faith is so cool. Like before games, we'll always say the Lord's Prayer, and we'll have a team devotion before games, and we'll have like a team prayer before games. Like it's so cool to kind of like grow your faith in a team, and also grow your faith through a sport. And so
Sure.
yeah, just kind of having that whole foundation while I play. It's like I've talked about a lot this podcast, like playing for something bigger than myself. And yes, that's my teammates and our seniors and my coaches and the fans and whatnot. But like ultimately, I'm playing for His glory. So that's kind of that's what I would add on to this.
That helps you in those moments we talked about earlier in the podcast.
It sure does.
So
yeah,
it's a tough game. So
yes.
Get you through it.
And I love that you're able to like live out that value. That's obviously really important to you, and being able to live that out during your career in college. Like it's not like you had to do away with that. Like it's still part of every day for you, which I think is really, really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like Shelby said, we could keep talking forever. We have been so excited to talk to you, and for those watching, we have some more soccer interviews coming up with Texas Tech Soccer, which is really cool and exciting to get ready for August, which is tomorrow pretty much. But again, y'all, Texas Tech Soccer, Kylie Bahr here, who had a tremendous first year at Texas Tech Soccer. So to continue to see her momentum and her growth of the game is really special. So make sure you're there. Y'all play your whole schedule before like December, really, right? Like it is rapid fire. So
it is rapid fire.
Yeah, buckle up, buckle in. And again, Kylie, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. This was really fun.
This was a lot of fun. I had a great time. And then for those who don't know, we wrap up every episode saying the one and only, wreck 'em with your couple of guns up. So till next time, y'all, wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.